think of a story on police brutality. Of course, I, as well as myself, we have many stories, but the most recent one that comes to my mind is the draft lottery day. It was crazy that day, yeah. You know, me being me, I wasn't invited to the lottery. Who am I, of course? But I wanted to be involved. It was held in Chicago, downtown at the Hyatt, and I wanted to sneak in. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to, sneak in and try to go meet some of the players, probably try to network a little bit. So I took it upon myself to try to figure out a way to sneak in. So actually, before I even got there, I had to make sure I played the part. I had to make sure I looked the part. So I went home, got suited and booted. I put a bright red blaze on, and I was so fresh. I was fresh. I looked like I was finna actually be in the draft. I was looking like I was gonna be one of the players or something like that. So, as I got dressed, I got in my car, and I proceeded to go to the event. And I didn't even get out my own neighborhood, and I got pulled over by the cops, man. And it was the detectives, also known as the Dick Boys, 12, 50, however you want to call it. They pulled me over and they illegally searched me. And first thing that came to mind, first off, I'm in a bright red blaze. I'm suited and booted from head to toe. I don't even look like my environment. So I'm thinking, y'all really just pulled me over and I'm looking like this? Like, what are y'all looking for? So he, give me your license, give me your registration, woo woo. Pretty much just asked for that. I gave it to him. Get out the car. Get out the car for what, man? What are you doing? I'm suited and booted. I'm headed to an event to go handle some business. What you pulling me over for? Get out the car. So they got me out the car, illegally searched my car, and then I'm up, in my own neighborhood, in front of my neighbors, embarrassing me in front of my own block. Never been in too much trouble before, but I'm going through all this unnecessary nonsense. For what? So at this point, I'm a little bit angry, and they can tell. So they handcuffed me, put me on the truck, and when they found out that they couldn't get in my glove compartment, they came back to the truck, went in my pockets, got the key to unlock my glove compartment, and proceeded to go into my glove compartment, which I could have had a pistol, I could have had anything in there, but if I have a key to my glove compartment, you're not supposed to be able to even get into the glove compartment on top of being illegally searched. So that's the most recent event that I had got into it with the law. You know what I mean? Being illegally searched when I don't even look like where I'm from. And for those who don't know where I'm from Jeffrey Manor, man, over east. And it's a lot that go on over there, so I can understand why they would be skeptical, especially with what I drive and how I look. But to be illegally searched like that, man, and to be pulled over in front of my own neighborhood, in front of my people, everybody around there know me, know what I do, know I'm in school, I'm doing this, I'm doing that for the community. They don't know me, so they probably felt in fear, or they just trying to see who I am. But different things that happen in the neighborhood and happen in our childhood experiences. So I remember at one point in time when I came into your life, and I've been in your life for a few years now. Since you were 4 years old, you're now 7. And when I first met you, I remember one of the first things you told me is that you wanted to be a police, right? You think you still want to be a police, or how do you feel about the police? Bad? Why is that? Is it because you see different things going on outside of the community? You see that a lot of people are dying, or is it because of some other reason? What's that reason? You don't know? You know what reason. Why don't you tell them, what happened to your father?
He died over a police.
Over a police? So Eugene, man, I know it's been tough. And, I know you, as a 7-year-old, you barely know what's going on, but first off, I just want to let you know everything is okay. You know what I mean? And as a stepfather, I've been in his life for about 3 years now, since he was 4. He's now 7 years old, and losing his father to police brutality is something that nobody could really prepare for, or nobody could really fathom the emotions that can go on through a young man's life, or a small child like this, or whoever to that case. And we can speak on the causes of individuals such as Laquan McDonald and even most recently George Floyd. So losing a father figure and things like that could definitely take a big hold on a young man like this. And just being in his life, seeing him go through those emotions has been something that I couldn't have even prepared for myself. But taking them under my wing and educating them on what's going on in the world, and just letting them know that everything is gonna be cool. But we have to make sure that we watch out and that we stick together as a culture, as a community, because that's most important. And as you guys can see, he was a very emotional young man. He talks to me all the time, and losing his father, wish I had my dad. And it's only been a couple of days since his memorial. He's been gone about 5 years, and he went over his family's house and they had a good time. And you could never bring somebody back like that. Somebody that you miss, somebody that's your flesh and blood. And as his stepfather, I just try to do whatever I can to come in his life and just do what I can to make sure that I'm there for him, because losing somebody like that could really take a big toll on you. So solutions, man. One of the biggest solutions I see to police brutality is really finding a way to police our own neighborhoods. And I'm not necessarily speaking about having actual police and authoritative figures around, but mainly so putting men around young men like Eugene and adolescent young men. And so, but I've actually came up with an idea, a solution, and that's called 10 Smiles, One Love. And it's a nonprofit organization I started where, as a barber, we go into the neighborhoods and we educate young men, we mentor young men, we guide young men, we offer young men free haircuts if need be. And it's not so much that we want to just, cut their hair. It's more so about sharing those stories of pain and glory, and stories like young Eugene and his father, and just letting them know that, yes, even though your father isn't around, you have great young men around you, and we're always going to be here for you. So anything that we can do, we're going to do for you, because we know that you need that. And it all starts with love, to be honest. And when I created this, I thought about how I was raised and all the stories and all the pain and glory that I went through. And so I take the stories of other individuals who've spoken in this series, such as Jeremiah and Kevo, and I share those individual stories with young men to let them know you're not the only one going through these problems, and we're going to be able to solve them. But it all starts with surrounding older men and older peers, and really the OGs of our community, and surrounding them around the young men, and not being afraid to share those stories and talk about solutions, and actually put in the work to see those solutions come through. Because too often we just have those discussions. When are we actually going to get to the execution of what we've been talking about? So what I've come up with, like I said, 10 Smiles, One Love, is something that we've been working on, giving back to the youth, and just doing what we got to do, man, to make sure that these youth succeed. When you following after another individual, or you doing something that Cody doing or Ryan doing, and what I tell you, to have your own what? Have your own mind, right? And never follow after somebody else's mind, because you your own individual, right? And what your mama always tell you, learn how to what?
Listen.
Learn how to listen, man. So just those two things is some of the key values that we instill into young Eugene, you know what I mean? So we teach him how to have his own mind, because when you out there in the streets, because when you're not under our care, you're going to be out there in the streets or in school, and you're susceptible to learn anything that's out there. With the world that we live in, society, technology, kids are learning things at an alarming rate. So one of the main things that we teach them is to make sure that you follow your own mind, have your own mind, and if you see someone out there that's not doing what they're supposed to do, just make sure you always take a second to think, and just, make a decision based on what you know is right and what you know is wrong. And just learn how to listen to those who, mean well. It's a lot of individuals out there that don't mean well, want you to get in trouble, want you to follow after them because they think it's fun or they think it's thrilling or anything like that. But learning how to listen and having your own mind is something that we always talk about. So just one. But one of the things I definitely try to do is make sure that whatever he tell me he want to do, I make sure he do it. And he could tell me, and he'll tell you right now, I'm on him. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever he tell me he want to learn how to play football, you gonna play football. You gonna tell me you want to swim? Oh, okay. Don't tell me you want to do something, because I'm gonna push you to your limit, and I'm gonna make sure you protect it as well. I'm not gonna push you past it. I'm gonna know when that limit is reached. I'm gonna make sure you get to it. And something as simple as that is something that I feel that all of our young men need as well, because it's just a lot of young men without fathers and without real authoritative father figures in the household. So, you know, taking on another young man and, you know, teaching them values and them lessons and pushing them to the limit, you know, teaching them when they ask you that they want to learn something or they tell you they want to learn something, making sure that they do it, you know, showing up to them games, you know, and that just take more than a father, that take a community. For example, we got, in my barbershop, we got several high school players that go to state in football. It's not enough for his father to go to the games. We had to get that whole barbershop involved. We have to get all the men in the community to show up to them games and make sure that we support our own. Or for whatever the case is. It could be football, it could be something in academia, it could be anything, but just making sure we surround men around these young boys like a shield. And make sure we protect them, because if we don't get to them, the police gonna get to them, and we see how that happened, and we don't want that to happen no more. We gonna make sure that it don't happen no more. But it start with us, and it start with love. My name is Tyree Taylor, and I'm not just another nigga.
My name is Eugene McSwain, and I am not another N-word.